Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. It's another Raid Shadow Legends video. We are taking over Guns91 today. He wants to try and move to a free key Ultra Nightmare. He wants me to sort out his Fireknights and then maybe have a bit of a look at the arena as well. Let's have a quick look around the account then. So, pretty well developed account. What we've got here, mainly focused on accuracy. He's actually gone resist, which is not a bad shout at all, and defense. So they're probably the three biggest sort of bangs for your buck in terms of the Great Hall, so that's good work. And it looks like we've also must have some decent Void champions here because he's absolutely specialised in Void. Let's have a look at his champion pool and see what we've got. I'll always start with a Vault just to see if we've got any lurkers in there. Quite a good Vault actually, so we'll see what we get to. It looks like we've got a good general champion base anyway, but we've got a Tomb Lord sitting in here who I think is great for Fireknights and great for Ice Golems. Black Knight's pretty good as well. Norog's no slouch when it comes to putting out some damage. Blood Gorged, Robar. So he's got some decent Fushan as well. Decent champions in there. But let's see what we're actually working with at the moment in terms of 60s. We've got a number of 60s here. So in terms of Clan Boss, there's something I want to try today. I've seen you've got a Krisk here. I've done a couple of takeovers now with Krisk where I've basically manualed the fight because Krisk has got an inbuilt speed up. And I've been chatting to one of my guys on Discord. So Kerp basically has dropped me a line and said, look, did you realise I've done some work? I've got a speed comp which works for Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, which lets you go 100% auto, where you basically speed up your Krisk to 192 speed and you slow down the rest of the team. So you have a Skull Crusher or your counter attacker coming in at 139, and then you have the rest of the team following up with 140 to 147. So basically what that will do is Krisk will put his speed up skill active. So he'll throw this increased speed across the rest of the team, and it will throw the whole team into sync with where they should be for the Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. So I'm interested to try it out, basically. I'm interested to see how that works. It does mean you'll be able to massively slow down everybody, which means you won't need speed boots everywhere, and you'll just be able to kick out a lot more defensive stats, crit rate stats, crit damage stats. So this could be quite an interesting takeover. We've obviously got great champions here. So we've got Ultan, best decreased attack in the game. We've got Razin, we've got Draco, so the two best decreased defense and weakeners in the game. Draco also brings some poison for us. Krisk just brings loads of support, and then Skull Crusher is going to be a great counter attacker in this comp. Works really well with Krisk, Skull Crusher. Skull Crusher and Krisk is probably better than Skull Crusher and Krisk and Vault or Krisk and Martyr. So those two work really nicely together. Just the only question is, does that give me enough poison going off? I don't know that. I think it does. I think we've got enough poison because we're actually going to do a lot of damage with these defensive-based champions anyway in this build. So I think that's going to be my best setup. Let's just see what he runs as it stands right now. We're just coming up to reset. So where are you, DJ? The Diamond. I'm pretty sure I did an account takeover here already. I recognise that name. So what we've done, we're 2 keyed here, and we've done an average of 16, just over 16 million per key on Ultra Nightmare, and the team is very different actually to what I've just said there. So there's no Krisk in there, there's no Razin in there. So I think we can make some changes for the good. So that's cool. Let's get doing it. Okay, here we go. The way this works is that Krisk runs at 192. He then does his speed buff to the rest of the team, which is this ability here on the second turn, and then he does his extension buff on the third turn. So we're going to be running Krisk 192 speed. He has got 5k defense, 192 speed, as I've said, 188 accuracy is not as important on him, 45k HP. So he's built as a tank, lifesteal gear. We've then got our Skull Crusher is going to be our slowest at 140 speed. So he should fall into line and just continuously get his counter attack up and keep it up on everybody except Krisk once you've done the first stun. So I'll show you how to do it in a second. He's got 4.2k defense, over 100 crit rate, crit damage is solid. you should be putting out some decent hits. That's the idea. It's a slower comp so that you can build more damage into your composition. We've got Razin, Lifesteal Gear again. He has got 4k defense, 147 speed, 86, 146 on the crits, so that's decent as well. We've got Ultan for our decreased attack, 146, nearly 4k defense, 85, 131 on the crits, so again that's decent. And then we've got Draco, who's going to be a poisoner, who's got 146 speed, 3.7k defense, nearly 31k HP, and has got OK crit levels. So let's see how this does. It might be better to actually sub out the Razin and go in with Steel Skull instead. So we might just want more poison and more sustainability, but I think this should work pretty well. It will be low on poisons, but I think we might make up for the poisons. Don't also, oh man, what have I just done? Have I just messed it up? I might have just messed it up with that move. I've just put speed on everybody and I didn't want to. That's annoying. That is annoying. So can I still recover it? So I don't want to counterattack here. I want for the boss to go. So now I'll just go A1. I'm hoping I don't end up now forcing the boss to attack Steel Skull, which is possible. So we get a weaken up. I don't want to counterattack still. So you see he's lost his increased defense here. If I throw ally protection up, is that going to help me now? I need to go A1. I need to get myself back into the right turn order. Okay, that's fine. So it's gone on Draco. Good. So we're still okay. Phew. So what we're going to do then, everyone has their turn. Ideally, Draco's not the one that's taking the hits. It should be Ultan. I guess because he's the weaker party, remember? They're going for him. But yeah, so basically we go counter-attack up here. And we just go A1 with the Krisk. And then from here, I can literally press auto. Krisk will do his speed up for the A2 on the second wave. And then he'll do ally protection for the third wave. The Skull Crusher will stay in speed. So everybody else is going to be fine. We've all got Lifesteal Gear on, so we should be able to get quite far through the fight, and we're all pretty tanky here. So this should actually just work really nicely. As I say, the only thing we're really missing is probably a bit more poison in this team, and it might be that, thinking about it, it might be that you'd just be better off subbing Razin out and putting Steel Skull in. But I'm going to let this run through, and I'll show you the results. So we actually came in at 13.8 million. The turn order did fall out of sync when I did that mistake at the start, but I also think that I need to stop Draco being the one who's attacked by the clan boss. So I need to drop Ultan's HP down a bit and let Draco's go up. Otherwise, him being stunned is just not ideal. The other question I've got in my head is, are we just better off perhaps... Are we just better off having that second poisoner in, or someone that cleanses like Reliquary Tender, just somebody that's controlling the cleanse and extra healing? Or do I just want poison? I think maybe I just want poison. So I'm going to rebuild Steel Skull as well, get him in the team, and drop Razin. Okay, so we've got ourselves a Steel Skull, right sort of speed, good accuracy. Let's try this for second attempt. So we're going to take Razin out, put Steel Skull in. So yeah, so I was hitting about 14 million, which is much less than I thought it was going to. But I think, yeah, I just think it's because of that stun situation. So I think if we can cleanse that stun off, let's turn this auto off. Yeah, if we can cleanse the stun off, then we'd be fine. So we go A1 with the Krisk. Then we're just going to try and get some poisons out. Going to get increased defense up. Do a decreased defense and weaken. Save the counter attack until the first stun lands. A2 now on the Krisk. Is that the one? I don't want... No. 3 on the Krisk. It's going to be the increased speed on the Krisk. Speed up everywhere. Keep those poisons going in. So now we've got a lot more poisons landing. Go one more turn, and then we should get the A2 off here to keep the speed up going on everybody. Stun's still on there, but we're just going to cleanse it off now because we've got Steel Skull in the team. And then you're good to go. So I'm going to let this run through now and see where we get to. Hopefully we hit some decent numbers. This is where Steel Skull comes in. So yeah, let's see what we do. Well, we're just coming to the end of the fight. We're like 9 minutes odd in. 19.49 million. It's not bad, but it's not as good as I thought it would be, actually. I thought we'd be pushing more like 25 million with this setup. So pretty disappointed with that. Let's have a play around. Okay, let's try again. So we have gone back for more conventional build. We've got Skull Crusher coming in at 191 speed, which is where he needs to be for Ultra Nightmare. Everyone else needs to fall in line then 172 to 189 to be able to deal with Ultra Nightmare and not run out of sync with speed. So we've got Ultan coming in, sitting at 177 speed, 4.5k defense, okay accuracy, so he feels pretty good. We've got Draco coming in at 173 speed, 3.3k defense, which is pretty good again, and good accuracy. So that's 1, 2, 3. We've got Steel Skull good to go again for more poison. Also for the cleanse, he is at 3.6k defense and decent accuracy. So then we just need one more, and it's going to be Warlord for this attempt. So we've got Warlord coming in, 3.7k defense, 172 speed, and 197 on accuracy. Doesn't actually need the accuracy on this build, but that is that. Let's give it a go. Let's see how this compares to the last run. Hopefully we get a bit of a better number. So we're trying to beat basically around 20 million. Let's see what we do. Warlord wants to go towards the end because he is going to be extending the debuffs ideally. So let's see how we get on. Take it off auto. So we can go literally straight in. I could go straight auto here and we'd be fine. But I just want to make sure my setup is right before I do that. Should be though. Should be absolutely fine with the speeds we've got them running. The only thing you sometimes find is Steel Skull can get you out of sync if you don't do the setup yourself. And Warlord does a better job if you manual with him because he can extend all these debuffs like that. What you don't want is for Steel Skull to Skull Crusher, sorry, to land a load of debuffs that you actually don't want on the clan boss. But see that extend again. So now we're in pretty good shape. I'm gonna get my defense up here, and we should then be now max debuffs. All we really want now is for Warlord to continuously extend those debuffs. At that stage, I could have done his shield, and that shield would have stopped any sort of stun here. But we've got a cleanse in Steel Skull anyway, so when I hit auto, I will put the shield up. But I just want to try and give myself a bit of a head start on all of these debuffs going up before I do it. So I'll probably manual it for about another full round, and then I'll hit auto. Right, let's see how this does. Get to a point later in the fight, we're at 7 minutes 40 here. Debuffs are basically going to drop off unless I extend, but I'm also really in risk of dying. So you get to the point where you actually have to just push for safety instead of pushing for debuff extension with someone like a Warlord. So Warlord and Steel Skull in the same team, you are going to do tons more damage if you manual this fight. Now I appreciate not everyone wants to manual, and you get a reasonably good score if you didn't manual this fight, but you will do a lot more work if you do manual it. I've kept debuffs up for most of the fight. We've kind of had them drop off here and there. But yeah, we're getting to the point now where people are taking big hits. And I need that Warlord shield to just protect my guys from death, basically. So you see here, what will happen is Skull Crusher will take a massive hit. So he's pretty much, if he takes that same hit on wave 2, the second hit, then he's definitely dead. Which is where Warlord comes in clutch because he's able to put that big shield up for wave 2 and keep us in the game. So big shield goes up here. Skull Crusher regains a lot of his health. He's still got his allied protections on, so he's still taking a lot of damage off everyone else, but because of that shield, he actually barely takes any damage. So that is where we use Warlord to his best effect at this sort of level, especially when you're on Ultimate Nightmare Clan Boss. And then you kind of save the A1 for here. And in the end, what will happen is eventually you'll just die from being one shot from the hits, which is probably, in the nicest way, it's probably the best way to go when you're fighting this sort of fight. About to lose Draco here because I actually made him catch the stun, which was a mistake. So that was my error. Rather than, he shouldn't have died there, that was my error. But we're still going to be in for a good time and should be decent damage as well. That's the thing when you're manualing as well, is, you know, mistakes are on you. So if you go out of sync, that's on you. But look at the damage he would have taken there. He would be absolutely 100% dead right now if I didn't put that shield up. So now we're really hoping at this point for just keeping decrease attack on, which is what Warlord does. So he's taken that now, that's good. Keeping decrease attack on constantly, keeping shields up with the team that we've got here, and also trying to just lay as many poisons and keep them going as much as we can. So the poisons pretty much are the secondary damage now. We do get you know, things like Warmaster hits still going on. That's your primary damage at this stage, because you are using your team to just keep everybody alive. We've got big hits coming in, so he's hit right through with that shield this time. We're basically in the dirt. He's hitting too hard. And when I say to people, you know, a speed team is going to be your best damage on this game, this is the reason why. So you get to a certain stage in the game like this, and you just can't out survive hits. But there, we've got 24.79 million. So that is a good key. It was a manual key, basically, for probably 80% of it, but that is free key territory if Guns here is happy to manual with the game. So all in all, pretty good. Happy with that. One thing I didn't check, actually, I'd subbed Warlord in. I didn't check his masteries, but yeah, it's all good. So that is a Clan Boss team, done and dusted. We've moved from a 16 million key to a 25 million key. It's pretty significant when you're talking about Ultra Nightmare. You know, to move by, what is that, 9 million. So to move it by about 60%, I think that is, if my maths are right, is pretty significant. So that's good. Last thing we want to do then is take on Fireknights. So have we got a team that can already deal with it? Let's have a look. Let's try and get it done. Okay, so lastly then we're going to try Fireknights. Let's get into it. I have pretty much used similar champions to what we've already got built for the crux of this, but we're trying to get right through to 20. So this is a bit of a mission here. Apothecary's good. I've vaulted one of these cold hearts. I don't want two. Two's overkill here. What I'd rather have is a bit more protection for the team. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Xavier is actually pretty good here as well. I'd rather have someone though that gives me AoE decreased defense. Or someone like Miscreated Monsters, also really cool for this fight. So I think Miscreated Monsters should be in for the shielding. We've got speed, we've got control, we've got some nukage, got a couple of turn meters. I think this probably will do it. Let's see how we get on. So we need to auto it, so that'll get us through the mission. So you see here how useful Nephril is straight away. It just throws the stuns out to everybody, so it immediately not taking any damage. That's why he's so good. If you don't have a Nephril, a Husk can do the same thing. You're looking for anyone who's got AoE stuns, who's got AoE freezes, AoE daze. If you don't have it yourself, then put people in a stun set. That's how you get through these fights, not through just putting more damage in. So a second Cold Heart in that slot would not give us more damage. She'd be on the floor dead, basically. So you see here, we're recycling stuns, recycling abilities. It's not going to be the quickest team. I don't really care about speed. I just want to make sure it can be done on auto. And we're just making sure that we've got enough people that once we get to the boss, we can control his turn meter. So obviously Cold Heart does that, Nephril does that. So that looks good. Wave 1 down. I'm going to skip this wave so it's not just kind of boring to watch. But you'll see we'll get to the boss soon. The boss fight in good time. At this stage now it's just about basically being able to take down his shield and get a bit of luck with the turn meter reduction stuff. So things like that, what Nephril's just done there. He's done it at completely the wrong time, which is not what we want. But we should have enough turn meter control here to be able to do it in the right order. So what we'll do, we'll let this run through. I'll show you just kind of as we're getting towards the end. But yeah, it feels like we should be fine as long as all these people don't do that sort of stuff. Well, it's not fast, but it is auto, and that's going to get us through the round. We just need more accuracy on these champions, basically. We need more accuracy on Cold Heart, more accuracy on Razin, and then this will be an easy kind of cakewalk. But still, that is an auto run. Let's see if we can't just push through and do a couple more levels. I'll let you know where we get to. So we're coming to the end here of number 18. All I've done is I've subbed Draco in for Razin, which gives us the decreased defense and weakness across the board. I've done that because of affinity. So now we've got a selection of champions that we can choose. First time clear on 18, get rid of those terrible boots, and let's go 19. So 19's blue. All of this same team works for blue, so let's just crack on and go again. Again, I'll pull it through to the sort of end of the boss fight. Well, I'll show you the waves quickly first. So stun everywhere, completely nullifies the wave. Decreased defense, weakness everywhere, just makes you do more damage. Basically, the aim of this team is to not let them have a turn. Now you can do this with weaker teams as well, but you need to do it in gearing rather than just with champions. So I've shown it in other videos. I've shown you in the sort of Fireknights how to do Fireknights videos. But yeah, this is done and brings it to life. As long as you've got them under control, they cannot do anything. I don't have anyone really in good gear in terms of damage here. My Cold Heart's in weak gear for damage. Miscreated Monster is not geared that well. Nephral's not geared that well. What they have all got is good accuracy so that they're landing their abilities. And that's actually where Guns was going wrong before. He was trying to push damage, but he wasn't landing his abilities. So if you don't land your abilities when you've got champions like this, then they're actually useless. So yeah, I'll speed it through. I'll show you the end, and then yeah, we'll go again. So we cleared 19. 19 was just done on a manual run. So that is a slow one, but we've done it. So we're on to the final test, number 20. Gets more difficult because you can't use all the blue champs. So we're going to be switching back in Nephral. I think the shielding works well. I think the rest of this actually works pretty well. So we're going to try and see if we can't just run this one through as well as an auto run and see if we can get going on 20. Well, we lost Miscreated Monster in the first slam, so he had his ally protection on, but you can see here we've got a good rotation now because we've got 3 champions that can drop cooldown. We've actually got a good rotation of the 3 of them dropping the cooldown of the boss consistently. So the boss, other than that first hit, has not had a turn, and I don't think he's going to get a turn here. So again, it's not the quickest run in the world. I don't care about that. I'm just trying to make it happen really. So we didn't get the drop cooldown there. If that drop cooldown had happened, it's a definite kill. So again, it's just a little bit on stats. Accuracy there would have just finished the boss for us, but we're still in good shape. Boss is nearly dead. We just need to make sure they don't go and do silly moves now for the next 20 seconds, and that'll be it. No, shield is broken again, so that should be game over. So that is first attempt, trying to get 20, gone straight in, done it. So what have we done? We have moved a clan boss team from an average of sort of 16 million up to 25 million for the Ultra Nightmare. And then we've come in and we've beaten Fireknights Castle 17 through 20 on auto for 20. Welcome to the Arbiter Land. Guns. Yeah, pretty happy with that. That's all good. That is going to be Hell Hades checking out. See you later.